Hey guys, how's it going? This is a weird video, I guess, because it's not my typical format. It's not something I've done very often, but I know that having speaking to people in the past, or looking at the comments on most of my videos, there is a small minority, or even actually quite a big majority, depending on which time I release it, of people who really enjoy just listening to me talk and go through different subject matters, talk about things that would help you in industry or give you advice to break into games and film and media. But in a lot of those instances, my advice isn't always the best because you're listening to someone who, although I have some industry experience, I don't have a lot, not as much as the people I interview. But I think what I've learned over the last 10 months now, since we turned into 2020, this absolute car wreck of a year, I guess I've just kind of, thought and took a backseat to thinking it's okay if it takes me a while to get where I'm going. There's no rush. As long as I enjoy the journey, as long as I'm hopeful and stay the course, as long as I focus on what matters and always be true to myself, stay happy, stay positive, then there's not a lot the world can really take away from me. I think, in essence, my thinking and thought process has shifted over the last year, trying to think about the things that I really want out of life. And I think a lot of this comes when you hit middle age, or at least for me, this is middle age, but if I live a modest 70 years maybe, if I'm lucky, then this is the halfway point, right? 35, jobless at the moment. But I've had a lot of great experiences. I just wrapped up my first ever game jam, which was incredible. I'm still doing the podcast, which I'm very proud of. I have received emails very recently, one in particular, you know who you are, of a man who was emailing me to tell me that he was leaving his job because he recently turned 30 and was sick of where he was and wanted to change his life. So he let me know that he was going to art school because of me. I did weep uncontrollably for about an hour. I'm doing the podcast. I've had my game jam experience. I've interned at studios. I've worked with professionals from all over the world in different, places and different roles. The things I've got to experience the last couple of years of attending events and traveling the world. This time last year, I was in Los Angeles. I was touring Blizzard games. I was touring Riot games. I was meeting a lot of people at Lightbox. And I really loved the fact that the event was online this year. I think Bobby and his team done a really good job. We were all very impressed, and I think that the event was very successful. But then this video is less about my achievements and less about the things that I want to do. But I think what I was trying to get to was the point of, it doesn't really matter that I don't have a job yet, or I haven't made my break in the industry. To be able to tell you guys that, you've got this. You really have got this. Whatever you're achieving, whatever you're not achieving, whatever part of the journey you're at, you've got this. It's hard for people to stay the course. It's hard for people to try and focus on what they really want. I left my job and, started to rewrite my life in 2012. If you take it from that point, then sure, it's been 8 years, nearly 9 since I left my job. But through that time, I stayed the course. I finished my first what they call an NC here, so like a really entry-level course in art. I'd done that for a year without a great plan in the end. You know, I had a goal at the end. I knew I wanted to work in games. So I finished my NC, and then I got to apply for my HND. So I applied for that. That was 2 years. You know, I finished that and then kind of thought I was going to just give up and go into graphic design. But, you know, only about 2 or 3 weeks before I finished that course, you know, I was standing in one of the hallways at college and I said to myself, I don't want to be a graphic designer. Even so, if I do, I don't want to work in some graphic studio. I want to work in games. I want to, you know, work in video games, or I want to work in at least 3D or, you know, films, games. You know, I want to be in the entertainment industry. This is why I left my job. What am I doing? So with like 4 weeks to spare or something, I applied last minute to university, and luckily got into a place in third year, a really good course, and done that for 2 years. And then I graduated in 2018, and since then I've done a lot of things. You know, I've been a lot of different places with my work and had multiple interviews, and my portfolio's changed rapidly over the last couple of years. Trying to find my way in what I wanted to do. You know, I tried some 2D, I tried some 3D, I tried user interface at one point. You know, I even thought about maybe trying to learn some programming. But a lot of that wasn't a wasting time. It was just me trying to find my place in the world. You know, the problem I think is I was doing a lot of this at 32 years old. If I was 22, like most people when they leave university, you know, a lot of people wouldn't blink twice. They wouldn't really think about, you know, me wasting my time. And we're like, oh yeah, of course, you know, you're 22, you're trying to find your place in the world. I never got to do that. I never got to find my place in the world. I was automatically thrusted into one. You know, I got that job when I was 17, 18 years old because I didn't know what else to do with my life. And, you know, at the time, because my father was also in the engineering industry, it seemed like a right move. And I stayed in that job mostly because, you know, it gave me money, it gave me freedom to pursue my other hobbies outside of work, which was, of course, playing games, being creative, making videos. So, you know, that's why I stayed. But it got to a point when I was heading towards 30 where I was like, is this really what I want to do with my life? So, you know, at 28, I was like, I've had enough of this. And I told myself, you've got this. You can do it. I mean, a lot of that initial "you've got this" came from my partner at the time and my friends who were telling me that I really just should do it and chase my dreams. You know, I'm young enough that it's not really going to matter. But yeah, I mean, it sounds cliche at the start, but you have got this. You know, what again I was trying to get to after a long-winded explanation was I've done a lot of things over the last 7-8 years. You know, travelled the world, got my degrees in university, you know, walked up on graduation day very proudly and received my degree in, you know, the places I've got to work or be part of. But I've never gave up. I've never ever gave up. I've always stayed the course. If it takes me 10 years, if it takes me however long it takes me before I get my first proper job in the industry, then yeah, I'm happy as long as I'm staying true to myself. I don't really think about, you know, the future too much. I can't remember who exactly said the quote, but it was like, you know, don't worry about the future. It comes quick enough, and it really does. I mean, it seems weird now, me sitting here at 35, and the last couple of years have been a blur. But, you know, I went through a big change as well. You know, leaving my last full-time partner when I turned 31, being on my own for 3 years and focusing on what really mattered to me, finding my new partner now, you know, moving different places. I think I just wish I had went through all this 10 years earlier, and it wouldn't have seemed so weird. And, you know, it wouldn't have been as hard to turn up to events with people who are my age, you know, who already have 10 years experience in the field, if not more. And they, they're talking about their accomplishments and the games they're working on. And it's great because I'm so proud of my friends and everything they've accomplished. But it's hard because, not everybody has, your best interests in mind at the time. And, it's difficult because people can really talk down to you and, make you feel like you're not doing enough, or that what you're trying to achieve is never going to happen. But, there's so much people have told me I would never do, especially when I left my job. Simple things like, I would never finish university. I'd never work on a video game. I would never have my name in, the titles or the credits of a production. And all those things have happened. And, if I met those people again, I don't think I'd want to rub it in their face. I mean, everybody does, right? You want to prove people wrong. You want to be the person who says, look what I done, and I didn't need your help. I didn't need you to tell me I was going to do it. I'd done it all myself. I'd done it for me. And I think that's the hardest part, is being able to stand there and take that criticism that people will throw at you and rise above it and try to make something of your life. And it's hard, man, because, I get this thing a lot where people will say, you're fake. Your affection's fake. Your praise is fake. You don't really have genuine thoughts or feelings towards people. You just want everybody to like you. I'll tell you something. I do want everybody to like me. Because I tell you this, it was hard when I was younger. It was hard to make friends. It was hard being the awkward kid. It was hard being the fat kid. It was hard being the geek. It was hard people just not liking me. And, I made some friends when I was younger, and, it wasn't all doom and gloom. But I was bullied. I was put down a lot. But I tell you this, the reason that people like me, who tend to be in, their late 20s, 30s, who then try to help other people or praise them, it's not because you're looking for friends or you're trying to be fake. You just don't want people to experience what you experienced when you were young. You want people to feel safe and appreciated. And, if I can send praise out into the world and make people feel even a little bit better, then you know what? Fuck them. Because that is making me feel better. And it might sound selfish, but, if making people feel better is making me feel better, then I don't think that's a horrible thing, I'm not doing it because I'm trying to get some rise. I'm doing it because I just want people to be happy. I just want people to be, smiling from day to day. I don't want people to be sad anymore. The world's too fucking sad already. There's enough shit going about and negativity in this world. We don't need any more of it. I mean, I genuinely say to someone, oh my God, I love your work. You're such an inspiration. People even say that when I bring people on my podcast. They're like, you say to all your guests, I love your work. I do. Every single person who I have handpicked, and I only have 60 interviews or something on my channel over the last 4 years, not hundreds. I've handpicked those people because I do love their work. I remember, people talked about, my interview with Scott Robertson. It sounded like I was gushing over him in 2 minutes. I mean, no fucking wonder. It was Scott fucking Robertson. I'm one of the few people on this planet who has got to interview that man. How honoured I would have felt to be sitting next to him in a cafe in Edinburgh, talking to him about his career. I had to pinch myself. I was like, I couldn't believe I was talking to this man in person. And then the fact that he came on my podcast when I was maybe 300 subscribers deep, and he came on and gave up an hour of his time to talk to me. What a nice guy. I mean, what an amazing person. Because Scott rarely comes out of his shell and rarely comes to do interviews because, he keeps himself to himself. He works really hard, which I can totally respect. But he gave up his time to speak to me. I felt so privileged to be able to talk to that man. And, I might not have a job, or I might not have any grand experience of my own, but the conversations I've been able to have over the last 4 years, I've been able to garner some of the most detailed industry secrets in the universe. And, the benefit is also that I get to share that with you, my audience. People who also care, people who also want to see, the best in people, and also want to see, positivity spread. I get so many messages, and I only maybe show 10% of them, of people who send me emails and talk to me and say that I'm inspiring them, or I'm doing things that are making them happy. And to me, that's like, I couldn't ask for more. As long as people are finding this interesting, as long as people still enjoy what I do, I'll always do it. But I mean, that's just me. Feel what you want to feel about me a bit. I can tell you just now that I will never stop doing this, and I'll never stop helping you guys, and I'll never stop talking to you honestly, because the world is too fake. There is too many people here just now who can't really reveal them true selves because they just feel so trapped by the people who are looking at them, the society around them. And I'm here to say, you've got this. You really fucking have. And if I can help in any way, shape or form, I'll always be here to answer your questions. Thanks for listening, guys. You really, honestly, mean so much to me. Please understand that. Thank you.